Hello and welcome to the Green Henry Show. My name is Keith Green. I am your co-host. I'm here to bring you episode 2, Hip Hop Heaven. On today's episode, we have Minnesota rapper Justin Richardson, also known as Grim Peace. And we brought him on today to talk about his influences in hip-hop music and to discuss hip-hop music as a whole. We gave on our Facebook page, The Green Henry Show, we put a sample of his music track, Won't Stop for Nothing, featuring Peanut, on our page. So go over there, take a listen, get a understanding of what he sounds like over there. If you're looking to find Justin Richardson and or Grim Peace, as he is called in the hip hop scene over here in Minnesota, you can look on youtube.com/kungfudude205. And there's about seven videos up there, and each are different tracks that he has, including Won't Stop for Nothing. Also, if you want to find Grim Peace, you can go to soundcloud.com/Grimpeace, and here's how you spell Grim Peace: capital G, capital R, capital I, capital M, space, capital P, lowercase e, capital A, lowercase c, capital E. Or you can find some of his feature work where he goes on other people's tracks and does a feature verse on soundcloud.com/sidetrack523. That's SIDETRACK 523. Without further ado, here is our episode featuring Grim Peace talking about hip hop. Here is Hip Hop Heaven.
So, Justin, I have a lot of questions for you. And obviously this episode's all about hip hop, but I want to know, you had quite the night. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I got a call from my friend, a message from my friend in the middle of the day requesting that I write him a song about his recently passed girlfriend with what stories I remember him telling me and other additional things he asked to have in there. And I wrote him up a rough draft, and we hung out, and he's like, well, now what do you got to do to record it? And he's like, I'm like, well, I need a computer and a microphone. He's like, we're going to get a computer and a microphone. And I was like, what? Okay. And, yeah, that ensued into a long journey. Nobody had a ride. Cabs were like not wanting to come out. It was fun. But yeah, we finally got the computer and proceeded to record nothing, and both fell asleep. I enjoyed my morning walking home.
Yeah, but are you somebody that normally can record songs in a pretty timely manner?
Yes. It depends on the motivations. Sometimes my own personal motivation has been enough. It was like that in 2016 when, with my last string of recordings, and I don't know. I think I did 2 mixtapes or like a whole mixtape. I don't know.
So tell me what your first introduction to hip hop was.
Well, the first thing I remember in regards to love for hip hop or rap, I remember asking my mom, would you call KDWB and ask them to play Gangster's Pair of Dice by Coolio?
Yeah, I forgot about Coolio, yeah.
It was Paradise, but I was 4 or 5 and called it Pair of Dice. So, funny
so pretty
me.
young.
But yeah, I loved that song. I don't know why. It had a really weird nostalgia for me, which is impossible.
What was your first major fandom? Like, what was the first rapper, artist that you followed?
Sadly, I grew up in this era. When he was popping off. So Eminem, that's very obvious sounding. But from him, it proceeded to be 50 Cent. But Eminem was one thing, like, we would fucking be running around, my little brother and I, stealing fucking people's tapes just so we could listen to them at our own free will. Like, we were like 5, 7, I don't know, man. It was funny, though.
But yeah, Eminem was. What about Mr. Green? What about you? Would you say Eminem was your first big fandom?
Nope. Notorious B.I.G. was. Mm-hmm. Because when I was listening, I was a big kid, and to watch the music video for Hypnotize and he's in there in a suit and a cane, and he's this big guy and money and these girls and everything. I was like, damn, I can be big and have girls and money too. Okay.
Yeah, but was that before death or after?
That was
It's life after death, bro.
That's the name of his last album, Life After Death. But it was before he died, and then it kind of blew up after he died.
Yeah, we're a little bit younger than our guest Justin here, so we were more of the Tupac, Biggie era
older?
before
We're older.
Eminem.
We're older.
Yeah, older. What am I saying? I'm
Younger.
sorry. I'm not even.
Don't get it twisted, because I've gone back and done a lot of, oh, I want to listen to a whole Wu-Tang album. Oh, I want to listen to a whole Outkast album, a whole Tupac album from '93, from '92. I used to do that.
So you're saying you've done your
myself
research.
there. Yeah, I put myself there in them olden years. Or like when I went through my ICP kick, I did make a point to listen from first release CD up, So like,
Well, let's get into that a little bit, Mr. Green. You obviously are a historian. Who is the forefathers of hip hop? Who are the pioneers?
Oh, well, Cool Mo D.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say because
Kaz.
what do you think, Keith? I think it goes back farther than before it was recognized as hip hop.
Well, technically, if you want to
Sugar
really
Hill
get to the
Gang
roots
and
of hip hop, you're going back to jazz and
Late
funk.
70s.
Yeah, you're going to
Funk.
dance halls in the 70s. You're going to DJs and
killing
break
disco
dancing.
off, and then
It
seems to what happened. Hip hop seemed to be an emergence after the death of disco,
yeah,
or the decay of disco.
it came like if you listen to a lot of rappers when they talk about it, it's started in the Bronx with Kool Herc. That was the guy's name when he was doing all the raves and the parties, and people would come out and break dance, and he was taking old records and he was breaking them down, spinning them and using two
Just
records.
because a lot of them old songs, they had like 3-minute intro melodies,
right,
with percussion and fucking like.
Yep.
What else do you do while you're waiting for the song to start with your homies just sitting there and while you spit?
Yeah,
you
when
fucking rhyme over it.
A battle wasn't like was just kick the drum machine and let's go. You just have that
Let's see who
click.
can flow longer, not let's fucking cut people low.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, isn't that what is that Rapper's Delight? Isn't that a pretty long tune in and of itself?
What? Have you ever been over to a friend's to eat and the food tastes no good? I mean, the macaroni soggy, these are mush, and the chicken tastes like wood.
Right. Who else though? I mean, because you had obviously DJ Kool Herc, like Mr. Green brought up, but you had others too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who were some of the big names?
Grandmaster Kaz is a huge one. Kool Mo D was known for technical savvy with his lyrics.
See, I have a lot of knowledge of underground early.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a wide kind of genre where it stretches out. So
loosely defined.
Right.
Yeah, even the 80s was heavily East Coast. Then you go to the West Coast, but the underground, people always underground. He brought up ICP. They really made the underground popular, I think, in a way.
But is that more current underground today?
No, ICP wouldn't be really underground today. They're just independent. Underground was where it's a little different. I mean, Justin, you can tell me. It seems like it's a little different than it was back in the 90s. Underground meant you weren't on a major label. Now, some of these independent labels are huge.
But but Mr. Green was just talking a little bit about ICP, and he said that they are no longer really underground. Do you agree with that?
Well, I mean, they're not mainstream either. I mean,
no,
they're right beneath the mainstream. They're right when you start digging beneath it. Yeah, they're not really underground.
But they're not really
They're
respected.
They're more
like
independent
Eminem.
than the underground.
They're still not respected.
That's why I said
they're not
like,
respected
they're
in the wide general community. They're looked at as pieces of trailer trash jokes. You know?
Yeah.
They're looked at fucking white scum fucking drug addicts, you know, from the inner city.
But what was their connection to Tech Nine? What was their connection?
Well, see, that's what I was going to talk about when we were talking about old school and underground, is that there was a guy named Isham who came out in early 90s, or the mid 80s, or late 80s. This guy named Isham, and he was like 13, and he released 4 albums, and then he did this clown thing for one album. He was doing different kinds of albums. He did like a hateful one, a love one, and then like he did this clown concept. And he's from Detroit, also where ICP is from. And they turned around and turned from the inner city posse into ICP. And then they like begged him. They literally bothered him and begged him until he worked with them and saw the benefit and saw the money. And then like, I don't know. Honestly, he wrote a lot of their shit. He's credited for it in a lot of CDs. And then, I don't know, it's just sad. And then when you listen, he was from the Midwest, so when you think about that, that's like the very first Midwest shit you would ever really hear is to be that early and recognize the Midwest is strange to me. You can hear him, you can hear old songs from when he was a early teenager or whatever, and then hear other people, mainstream things like West Side Connection or Ice Cube. Like, it's just straight, almost word for word, melody for melody, rhythm for rhythm ripoffs. And he doesn't complain. He'll write about it in his songs, but he hasn't ever sought shit out. He just keeps working away. Sometimes he releases 12 tapes a year. And I'm not even that big of a fan because he's so morbidly dark.
But wait a second, though. You talk about Midwest. What's different from like a Midwest to a East Side or a West Coast? What's the difference?
No, sound. Sound particularly seems to be more industrial and sad. More industrial and morbid to the beats, more industrial and serious, ghostly and serious. Because when you think about it, the Midwest is recognized as a huge car-making, industrial, belly of the beast thing going on. And we have a lot of fast. Speed is more of a thing. Lyricism is more of a thing for the Midwest. It's not about the hooks, really, I noticed.
It's kind
more
of
about lyricism, clarity, delivery. It's not about, like, we're more of a lyric listening area of United States, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
How does that contrast with like Southern hip hop?
That's more like doing it big. You want to do everything big in the South. You want the best car. You want that best chain. You want to be sipping on the newest drug. You want to be drinking like the most expensive bottle, having all the bitches pimped out on your body, on your car, on your clothes. You know, like.
Even the beats.
I noticed Texas a lot of doing it big.
Large.
Yeah, they like to do it big.
Where does freestyle rank into all this?
Well, freestyling was like the original rap. I mean, there was no really, and probably people wrote shit down.
Well, I was just asking you who your favorite people are from all the different genres. Like from the South, who would be
You asked me something else about freestyling, but I want to finish something by saying some of my main influences consider freestyling pointless, worthless, and not even anything you should concern your time over, because what's going to make you money and what's not going to be a waste of your time or a waste of your ideas or lyrics or on-the-spot shit is writing it all down.
Define freestyling for me. Can you turn that into a track?
No filter, brain to mouth, on the spot, improvisation.
Improv rhyming.
Improv, off the top. No filter, straight from head to mouth. Real freestyling would be doing it the moment someone said go without having to stop and think and being able to continue it. You know, yeah, it's not going to be perfect. Yeah, there's going to be filler words in it, but
if you're really good at freestyling, if that just comes natural to you, could that help you? Would that make like laying down a track that much more easy?
It just depends. If I were to freestyle a track, what I would do is go back, write out the main points at certain parts and re-record them so it just was a little more clear and had a little more song structure. And then that's how I've done that before. YouTube.com, search the mixtape volume 1 Grim Peace won't stop for nothing.
Now, yeah, that's an interesting name. What sold you on that name?
I was sitting, when I first decided to use my time rapping, I had gone from not being on medication to being put back on medication. And sad, this is another subject for another time, but I was prescribed stimulants at a young age, and I think that's fucking terrible, evil. You know, they put me back on them, so I really had to find something to occupy myself and consume myself, and I already wrote poetry and slightly rapped, so I was like, you know, I'm actually gonna, I got speakers, I got this digital camera, like I literally ghetto rigged shit to record and would walk to the library an hour away just to upload it on their computer. And I did that like 5 times. And that's pretty much where I started. But I sat there for hours and came up with a name. I knew I wanted something contradicting because that seemed fitting of myself. And I knew I wanted something that represented balance.
So your name was Greenpeace?
Okay. Greenpeace, Grimpeace.
Greenpeace. What's your style? How would you describe your style in hip hop?
How would you describe this style? Here's an example. All right. The wicked winter weather is back. I'm lifting to a level you wishing you could match. No shiver or shake, and I'm naked when it snows. You whisper hate and then complaining that you're cold. I don't think so. You're unexposed. No icicles in your nose. I would know because I've been froze to the bone. Since 4 minutes old, I flipped the sun with the moon. I switched midnight to noon. Stick goons with a shoe and a spoon. I'm 2 places at once while in the same room. Replicating at the end of ages since 1352. AD and HD, you'll sneak many peaks of proof. Say I sprayed semen, screaming ooh on Miss Sarandon Sue. Think you're reading into me true, but honestly, I'm writing you.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but Mr. Green's blushing right now.
Really?
No, I'm not blushing.
I tend to have that effect.
What's the most important you think in, you know, putting a song together? Is it having like legit rhymes, or is it the background beat?
Both.
You say it's all a combination, like a perfect salad.
Yep.
I mean, I know people who are like
Perfect salad.
But they're like straight hip hopper, new age hipster, acid trippy vibe kind of people. You know, they fully believe that there's everything in the world is complete contradiction to itself. It's fully half dark and half light. Pretty much that. You need both things. It takes 2 things to tango, a negative thing and a positive thing.
You say that, but I'm sure you've heard like a lot of dope beats with shitty lyrics.
Yeah, I can't deny it. I mean, I'm like one of the few in my friend circle who listens to like Chris Brown or anything like that, and the lyrics are trash. It's like, I'm gonna bang you in the hotel. You know, it's like, but the beat is what's keeping me. It's just satisfying as fuck. You know, like the beat is really. A lot of times it does it. The beat does it.
But the beat does it. Is that going away, by the way, the whole I'm going to do this to that person and do this to that girl? Is that going away, or is that always going to be there?
It's always going to be there.
Who's really doing it in the rap scene for you these days, Mr. Green?
I'm primarily only liking 2 rappers right now. It's Ritz and NF.
I was asking Mr. Green who his like current rappers that he keeps up with. What about you?
Well, I told Brent that the 2 rappers that I've been following are Ritz and NF.
Okay, my little cousin is 16, dude. You should be shocked at the statement. He's obsessed with NF. That's his favorite rapper, and he listens to the words like really, and that's very like I'm like, dude, you're way ahead of your time, kid. He is, because like listen to NF. NF's like my age. Or older than me, like 30 something, or almost 30.
He's my age.
Yeah, so like that's crazy, bro. Like, I mean, I noticed his lyrics were kind of ahead, emotional, deep, life describing, real world describing, reality. You know,
that's
true reality description.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
I don't know. I already had a hate for him and Logic because of some dude I lived with, and he kind of ruined it for me. But like, yeah, it's just surprising my 16-year-old cousin gets into that, and it's really deep.
Well, how does how would you stack a NF against a Machine Gun Kelly?
Better.
No comparison.
Yeah.
That's two different types of directions. One's going half with pure alternative creativity. That's Machine Gun Kelly is like alternative creativity mixed with gangsterness at its everything that they're doing. The fuck boys are doing these days with their basic ass shit. And then NF is kind of I'm just gonna be me, plain old me. I'm not gonna come out here wearing sunglasses and throwing guns and a bunch of girls. You know, I'm just gonna give you hip hop, raw hip hop, and leave. Bye. You know, that's kind of what NF is doing.
Yeah.
Very straight to the point. I haven't seen him with a lot of features. I haven't seen in a lot of his videos. He's always by himself or has actors in them.
He had one feature off a therapy session that. He's had two features. He had one on Mansion, and he had one on Therapy Session, and I don't know yet on Perception.
Well, okay. If I had to give you a list of my faves, I mean, all-time people I'm going to go to and listen to have to be Tech Nine and B.O.B. B.O.B. has really blown my mind lately.
Bobby Ray?
Yeah, dude, he's crazy. His underground mixtapes are crazy.
I bought his first album that he got when he signed with T.I.
Yep.
That The Adventures of Bobby Ray, I think is what it was.
Yep. You need to go on SoundCloud and listen to Water and Fire.
Water and Fire.
And Air.
Okay.
Those are all mixtapes, and they're all conscious, conspiracy theory angled mixtapes. And
then you can also look up Earth, Wind, and Fire. But
no, it's not called. They're individual tapes. There's Water, which stands for We Are the Enemy, Really. There's Fire, which stands for False Idols, Ruined Egos. And there's Air, which stands for Art Imitates Reality.
I was just going to ask you, who are some people that you stay clear of?
New School, Logic.
Thank you.
Well, just because of some shit that happened to me. I mean, yeah, that one song is way too catchy, and it makes me want to die.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh, that. Is that him? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Let's see. Other people I really steer clear of.
Well, you love the Macklemore, right?
Absolutely, Jay-Z. Nope, I don't love Macklemore at all.
God, no. The guy doesn't even rhyme most of his bars.
But don't you see a lot where guys are trying to be deep, but it's not really very deep?
Yeah, Macklemore is the prime example of that. His should just be called spoken word with some rhyming. That's
right.
One more person. I don't know. There are a lot of people I stay away from, but I don't know a lot of mainstream rappers. Young Thug. I won't ever listen to him. There's not a lot of older people. I mean, maybe, no, I mean, I even like Little Boosie. I even like, you know.
I was about to say, stay clear of anyone with the first name Lil or Young.
Well, you can't say that. You can't say
Wayne
that.
Is
Little
fine.
Wayne is one of the
Lil
most, talented lyricists in the last 30 years.
It's a lot of his sneaky punchlines and his sneak disses that really make me laugh. A lot of other people, like the main flamboyant rapper, and he's not even gay, E40.
E40. E40's good.
Class OG, yeah.
From the Bay, yeah.
He's way OG.
E40 is one of those workhorses. Puts out an album.
Yeah, he is. Never stopping.
One or two albums a year.
Hip-hop has obviously won the war. Rock is basically dead compared to hip-hop.
Truth.
Why does hip-hop, why has it stayed on top where rock hasn't?
It's like what would you call something you just throw into anything and it's like salt, man. Hip-hop isn't it's like sugar or salt. You just add it into other shit or add other shit into it, and it's just so much better. And it goes with anything and everything. It's fucking like ranch or fucking...
Yeah, ranch is the new ketchup.
I mean? Whatever. But you know what I mean,
Well,
our soy sauce.
Well, here's one big thing is that back in the 90s, it was almost like there was a war between rock and metal and hip-hop. And hip-hop, is embedded in the culture. It's in every...
Oh, yeah, it's completely American.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of music genres are, but this is just strictly pop culturally based, raised, created in the land of the, I don't know.
Yeah.
Its birth was at the edge of what we considered a golden era.
And yeah, like most rockers, their forefather that they always quote is the Beatles, and the Beatles came from England. It's kind of like when you look at it, a lot of the major acts in rock come out of Europe. Virtually all of the hip hop artists that we talk about have come out of the United States, primarily out of East Coast or West Coast, and then over time the Southern grew up, the Midwest grew up and took over.
Well,
rock can't keep up with that.
But is it still evolving? In
Well,
your
when you
opinion?
think about it, hip hop spread just like religion, because think about it, bro. Before fucking it was hitting TV, there was probably people who had money who would travel and go hang out with their friends. It can be a religion. Hip hop could be very religious, calming, used for meditation. Not just the music, but just the sense of what hip hop is. It's brotherly love and sharing it. Everyone has a verse to tell. Everyone has a fucking something to spit, no matter which form way it is. Whether it's spray painting a wall, whether it's fucking fighting, whether it's fucking bucking. Who gives a fuck? It's like a kung fu almost in a way. It can have mastery. I don't know, man.
But in the '90s, and Mr. Green can attest to this. It was a lot about like labels, the studios. Def Jam.
That's when it gets down to business.
Yeah.
Well, do you think spirit, when it gets down to consciousness, when it gets down to meaning and reason? I mean, that's what I'm kind of saying. Imagine people just going out traveling or going around the country. That's probably how it spread before TV, before radio, before it was songs. People were hanging out just spitting before they were like, yeah. And it was all, you're right, it was spoken word, a cappella, you know what I mean? Or people were just beating on their chest or fucking beating on a bucket or...
Right, well...
Beatboxing. Like Dougie Fresh.
Dougie Fresh, yeah. Oh, you owe me a Coke, motherfucker?
Get him a Coke.
The next time I see you, I'll get you a Coke.
When I get my car, I'm just going to drive straight to Pine City. Fucking hour and a half.
Well, you're going to see Brent, because I live in Bellingham, Washington.
Tell me a little bit about where rap is today compared to the 90s.
Worse.
It's fucking overpopulated.
I was going to say, it's better than ever financially, but it's horrible lyrically of substance, in my opinion.
Are you saying that people are getting famous that don't deserve it?
Yes.
What you're gonna see conspiracy theorem in this, but it's nothing different than what they do with everything else.
Sure.
They give us terrible shit and then expunge us for whatever amount of money, as much money as they can.
Absolutely.
So they give us the most unpure, rottenest shit for our mind, body, and soul. You know what I mean? And then extort as much money as they can out of us. Whoever decides this. But it's come to the same thing in hip hop, mainstream. You get it? It's all, I'm gonna get pregnant at 13. like shit like that now. Like, I swear to God.
Yeah, like explaining that that you have gold all up in your teeth and gold all up in your watch and gold in your hair and gold on your dick and all that shit. Like, I don't need that. I want to hear a story. I want to hear about how your life is, what's going on.
Yeah, well, what do you think about the old school? Like you talk about like Public Enemy, Run DMC. You mentioned Dougie Fresh. If they like tried to mount a comeback today, would it work, or is the era over them?
Depends on who it is.
They've always kind of been here. If you haven't known, especially underground. Tech Nine has paid Dougie Fresh within the last 5 years as a feature on one of his songs. He's gotten a lot of underground people.
KRS is still going.
KRS-One, yeah, he still goes. I wouldn't listen to him much. I don't know why. I used to like this is KRS-One, that song, but that's it.
He's really old school, and he just won't. He's one of those guys that won't budge on anything. He's really old school.
So I liked Elephant Man more, honestly.
I like Tech Nine and the artists he's brought in because, like, Ritz is one of my favorite.
Seth True is just straight God, man. Seth True is just straight godly.
Well, what about you, Justin, on the streets in Minneapolis? I mean, who's popping down there on the local scene?
I mean, we have Rhyme Sayers Entertainment locally.
Wasn't there somebody named Brother Ali that was pretty big down there?
Yeah.
He's pretty big.
Brother Ali, yes. But he's been rumored through the underground to be a punk bitch who wants to get his way, wants to perform last, whatever.
Who hasn't earned it as much? Is that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it all comes down to who's going to make the most money and gets the biggest set time. And
who are modern day like elites in your view that are are leading? Is it Tech Nine and NF, like you said? Who else would you say is holding up the fort?
You got a lot of people. I mean, I think Problem and I Am Sue, people over on LA, local LA stuff is really blowing up right now. Twisted, if you know who Twisted is,
Yep.
They just brand from Psychopathic Records.
Magic Ninja Entertainment.
Now they own Magic Ninja Entertainment, and they're kind of making moves. They have signed G Moski, who, in regards to the psychopathic juggalo underground community, is going really hard and bringing back what the flavor that people wanted back then, when it's very filthy, it's very heinous kind of rhyme and rap.
Young Wicked is one of my favorites off there.
Well, I've always been a fan of Axe Murder Boys and Otis.
Yep.
Otis is wonderful. Even Bones Dub is slept on. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to his brother or where he is, or if he just didn't want to continue. That's Young Wicked's brother. When he was Otis, that's his real brother. They're real blood brothers.
The two of them together. They just put out a new single.
The Garcia brothers? Are they doing it as the Axe Murder Boys or the Garcia brothers now?
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if they changed their name. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of them. They have this album called God's Hand, and it's all about fucking stomping out demons when you see them.
But what are your thoughts on Kanye West or Drake?
I mean, no. Kanye West needs to be put out of his misery. Old Yeller's their dog. They'll take care of it.
Drake is horrible.
And Drake has good vibe, good sound. But Drake is obviously one of those people where they're like, hey, okay, we're going to buy you. We're a record label. Now, when we come to you and tell you, listen to the song and just re-record it with your voice the same way they're doing it. You know, people who
Lil Wayne
that's what Drake is. Drake is like a robot hiree model guy. Face front.
What did you think of Eminem's Trump diss?
I mean, he's changing hip-hop. He's going back to what hip-hop was originally, in the basics. And it's very sophisticated. That's the stuff I like to listen to. Okay, so I'm going to break off for a second and tell you exactly what I think about the Trump thing. But they have this thing on YouTube where it highlights the rhyme schemes in people's rap.
Like Lose Yourself and
color
tracks.
Coordinated highlights, and there's some words that are like a rainbow. One word because it's rhyming with fucking 15 other rhyme schemes around and before it and ahead of it. I don't know, it's fucking crazy. Eminem's is the most lit up, most painted one I've ever fucking seen. Yeah, that's what he's literally doing. He's way intensified the origin of hip hop and brought it back, and rapping in general, in my opinion. Because this is what it was all about too. When it comes to bashing Trump, it's really funny. It's awesome. I wish I could have done it first, you know? Very lyrical, very intense, very system shaking, challenging. It's old school Eminem again, minus the immaturity.
You know how there's always been that string of feuds within hip hop? Is that still alive and active today as it was back in the day? Well, you know, hip-hop used to be, like, really famous for its feuds, you know, Biggie, Tupac, Nas, and Jay-Z. Do we still have those deep feuds going on today?
Not really.
There have been, and there have been people who have tried to, but they don't seem to last very long, and if they do, I mean, they last way longer now, I mean, kind of, but just time's gone by. I mean, there's been people beefing for 10 years. Eminem and ICP used to beef really hard. There was this dude named the Joker who tried to diss Hobson. And that's another people who was really making the movement is Funk Volume.
Mr. Green knows all about the Joker, right?
You know who I'm talking about, though?
Yes, the Joker. He was originally from Arizona. He did Permanent Enemy, I think, was his major diss track.
You get your Dead Horse Now.
Yeah, Dead Horse Now, which him and Opson they've done some freestyling together and a little bit of recording.
That ended the beef, but see, I don't like that. Yeah, I mean, I do like it. I mean, it's moving on, but I don't know. My rendition of old school hip hop, I like it the old way. You just keep beefing and steer clear of each other.
Is the Joker like a ICP style?
Yeah.
No.
Well, no. Yes and no. He claimed that he started with the ICP movement.
He's exactly what it should have been. He's exactly what ICP should have been. He was like, look what you fucking bitches become. Ha ha ha.
Because I can.
I'm gonna fucking rip out your tongue. Shit kind of shit.
I loved his track Because I Can.
Who is somebody that you really admire? Somebody that you really admire, but you're scared to listen to their music. Like it's too much for you.
Nobody.
Yeah,
I've listened to some crazy shit. I've listened to this group called Aqualio who swear that mythology is prophecy and the characters in it will rise up out their graves. It'll be apparent to witness it. But he gets in way more detail. The guy who's in that group has even written a book. He used to be from Texas underground, and he used to be on Paul Wall's record label, Swisher House. But that's if you want to hear something really challenging to belief systems and stuff, listen to Aqualio, Aqualeo. It's a combo word of Aqualio. Okay, and they're also on Team Back from back in the day, if you know that. So my top 5. I'm going to go with top 5 rappers individually and not groups, okay? Lyrically, picture painting, those who have given me a wicked, vivid vision. Tech 9.
Wait a second. You go from 5 to 1. So your least favorite to your favorite.
Okay. Deltron. Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Madrox from Twisted. B.O.B. Tech 9. And Ubiquitous from Sescrew.
Ooh.
Well, that was deep. All right. Justin, a.k.a. Grim Peace, where can we find your materials?
You can find me on SoundCloud.com. Just search Grim Peace. And you can also find my features or songs with features on SoundCloud.com/sidetrack523. SoundCloud.com/SIDETRACK523. And then I can also be found old stuff on YouTube.com. Search Grim Peace. It's called The Mixtape Volume 1. The song names include Twisted Cities, Won't Stop for Nothing, stuff like that.
And we'll put up one of your songs on our page. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by. Hope to chat sometime.
Hey, what happened? I thought I was supposed to freestyle.
Oh, how dare we? Yeah, you and Mr. Green were going to have a rap-off.
I'm not a freestyle. I don't freestyle. I've never rapped before. Don't put me on that spot.
All right, so, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Grim Peace.
What? All right, I'm here to leave you a message, and what you're about to hear is going to leave you breathless. I know that I'm constantly reckless, but something that I'm doing right now will be impressive. I need something, a new direction. Point me somewhere, get reflective with yourself, within consciousness. I want to stop evil and put it to an end. I'm sick of all this garbage running through this earth. Man, humanity itself is a plain old curse. Rid her, Mother Earth. We're going to save you, girl, and that is no hollow words.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a round of applause. We'll see everybody next time. Take care. Have a great night.
And that was our show today. We'd like to thank Grim Peace, Justin Richardson, for coming on. If you'd like to find Justin Richardson, a.k.a. Grim Peace, you can go to youtube.com. You can look for Kung Fu Dude. That is KUNGFUDUDE 205. and you'll find his YouTube videos with his music on there. If you also want to find some other music, you can go to soundcloud.com/grimpeace. That's capital G, capital R, capital I, capital M, capital P, lowercase e, capital A, lowercase c, capital E. Or if you'd like to find his features on other tracks, you can go to soundcloud.com/sidetrack, SIDETRACK 523. I'd like to give a special thank you to bensound.com, which is providing our intro outro music. The track is A New Beginning. So if you'd like to find some non-royalty music out there, or if you're just looking for some music without vocals, just some instrumentals, go to bensound.com. And if you'd like to follow us, you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That is youtube.com. Our channel is The Green Henry Show. Also find our Facebook page and give us a like and a follow over there at facebook.com. Our page is The Green Henry Show. We'd like to thank you all for following and thank you all for listening today. We give you a thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode.